Hey there, thank you so much for being here this week for our Friday meetup. If this is your first time here on our channel, welcome. I'm Felicia from SweetGeorgia, and we are a hand-dyed yarn company based in Vancouver in Canada. And we're also building an online fiber art school called the School of SweetGeorgia, where we teach everything from spinning and knitting to weaving and dyeing. I come here every Friday to talk about something to do with craft and making things, and today we are going to relax and have a chat with Chen and Lian of Craft Atelier in Singapore. Craft Atelier is the ultimate fiber art studio for multicraftual makers, someone who is interested in knitting, crochet, weaving, spinning, stitching, anything to do with yarn, thread, fabric, or fiber. These gals are inspired, energized, and have been building a craft community for many, many years now. You might actually recognize Craft Atelier as one of our SweetGeorgia brand ambassadors, and that is because of all the work they are doing to spread the joy of color and craft. So let's take a minute and meet Chen and Lian of Craft Atelier. So I am so excited today to be chatting with Chen and Lian from Craft Atelier in Singapore. Right now it is 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. What time is it for you guys over there?
About 11:30 in the morning.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it's been, it's great being able to talk to somebody like on the other side of the world and talking about crafts that we all do and that we share the similar challenges and things like that. I know Craft Atelier, you guys have been brand ambassadors for SweetGeorgia this is the second year now. And I remember when the applications were coming in and I read your application and I looked at your story and I saw what you guys were doing. I was like, these are my people. We have to have them, because like you guys were going through the same things that we're going through here, you know, juggling different crafts, juggling business life, juggling family life, juggling all the things that you want to do. And so I'm really excited that we finally get a chance to sit down and have this conversation. I know that you guys have kind of participated in some of our Zoom meetings and crafternoons and things like that for the school over the past couple of years. But this is like the first time we get to actually sit down and have a conversation about it all. So thank you. So maybe as an intro, as a start, maybe if you guys could each individually introduce yourselves and a little bit about yourselves, and then maybe you could tell us a little bit about what Craft Atelier is.
You should start first. Okay. So I probably started crafting when I was really young. I started crochet when I was about 5. And I picked it up from my mom because I saw a little baby set that I used to wear as probably a newborn. And that's how I got started crafting. So along the way, I picked up knitting. I picked up paper crafting. Then I went on to do things like tatting, embroidery, and it just rolls on because I keep collecting new interests along the way. Yeah. So that's how I got started with my crafting journey.
So my crafting journey, I think, started later than Lian, or officially later than Lian. I think I come from a family of people who make stuff, but I only started knitting and crocheting when I went to college. So this was when I was like 19, and I picked it up from a book on my own. Before that, I'll make cards and stuff, but I don't think I identified myself as a crafter then. It was only later on when I picked up knitting, crochet, and I picked up rubber stamping, stuff like that. I went a bit more into craft, and then so I started to see myself as a crafter. But then, of course, life priorities came. I had 3 children over the course of a very short period of time. My kids were very young. At one point, I had 3 children who were all under 5 years old. And so that was when I stopped being a crafter, because you just didn't have time between full-time work and taking care of a young family. I just stopped crafting for a good 6 years. I gave away most of my stuff at that point in time. Lian benefited from a lot of it. I think if I go to her house, I might find a lot of my old craft in her house. I got back into crafting when I moved to stay. I lived in the US for 2 years when my husband went to do his MBA. So I connected back with my crafting interest. I picked up weaving then. And so that's kind of like started the whole journey again for me.
Yeah. Fantastic. And how did you guys meet then?
We met in school. Yeah. Like we were colleagues teaching in the same secondary school. When I first started teaching, the first school that I went to, my alma mater, to teach, was where Hui Lian was a teacher. And we never worked together. Like we were never in the same committee. We never taught the same classes.
We were never in the same office.
Yeah, we sat in different staff rooms, 2 levels apart from each other. But one of my friends sat next to her. And my friend kind of knew we both crafted because he was learning how to craft from both of us. And he was like, hey, you guys really should meet each other, and like connected us. And then so what we largely did was we went craft shopping a lot together. So that's like the start of the friendship.
So whenever there was like, oh, new stamps. So we started mostly doing rubber stamping together. So it was like, oh, there are new stamps, there are new inks,
There's a new shop. Singapore craft shops are very hard to come by. So whenever you like find a new shop, or someone online is having a sale and you want to do a group buy so you could ship things in from US and save on shipping, right? You need to find like your little gang of people to go shopping with. So that's what it became, like a little gang of shoppers, craft shoppers.
Then it developed into us offering classes that are ad hoc to friends or friends of friends. That's kind of the start of Craft Atelier.
That was in 2008. Yeah. I guess we figured out if we were spending so much money on craft, we needed to find some way to make back the money that we were spending. So we started to share and teach. We did pop-ups too.
Yeah.
I think quite a number. Yeah. Until 2011, when I decided that I couldn't quite cope with having a side job in addition to my main job, in addition to having a young family. So then Hui Lian continued on to try to do all the pop-ups and workshops on her own for a good number of years. So Craft Atelier kind of like became just an old project that's set in the cupboard, and we'll take it out as and when we remember to take it out.
It was about 6 years.
Good, like
dormant.
6 years. Dormant for 6 years. And when I moved to the US, and then I told her that, hey, you know what? I picked up this new craft. I learned to weave. And she was like, how do you learn to weave? I've been wanting to learn it for 20 years. And one in Singapore.
Because there's just no access to looms. I've been wanting to pick up spinning, but there are no spinning wheels in Singapore. There's no instructor. There's just no way unless I travel.
The only way I think you could learn spinning or weaving is you had to spend the money to get the equipment.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee that you'll like it. And if you didn't like it, you can't get rid of the equipment.
Yeah. There's no one else to buy it off you.
So
because there's no sell it to.
So I was like, yeah, you must come and stay with me for a few weeks during the school holidays. So she came twice in the 2 years that I was there. She thought she'd only come once, but she ended up coming twice.
Yeah. The second trip was mostly a learning trip. So I had classes scheduled almost every other day or every day. So I'll be going to weaving studios. I took up spinning. Yeah, I was several instructors for the entire trip.
Yeah. So then at that point, then I told her, we talked about Craft Atelier being like a dream. We always wanted like our studio. We wanted to be able to bring this experience to more people. Like you didn't have to travel to the US, because it was really a very fortunate thing that I lived in Massachusetts, and the spinning and weaving guild is very strong there because of the history that there is about spinning and weaving in Massachusetts itself. But not everyone has that opportunity. So then we said, if we really want to bring this to more people in Singapore, then you kind of need to have a physical space. So that's how Craft Atelier became a physical studio.
Yeah, so you're just saying like there's not very many craft stores, yarn stores in Singapore. How has your store been received? Like, are people very curious? Are people very skeptical? Or have people just been like, oh, this is something I've always wanted to try, or I'll try that?
I think people are curious whenever they walk past a store and they see the weaving looms. And go, what are these things? Are these looms? Do you weave with them? They say, yeah. So come on in and we could have a talk. And we start showing people what they can do with looms. And they go, oh, so it's a thing. I say, yeah, it's a thing. You could actually do this.
It's a thing.
Because people don't generally imagine that they could create their own fabric by weaving. So it's not it's culturally, local culture, we just don't have this. Yeah.
I think people recognize looms because in the region around us, in the geographical region around us, there are a lot of traditional weavers. Like you have in Vietnam, they'll have weaving, in Cambodia, in Laos, in Indonesia, Thailand, Taiwan. All around us, there are weavers. But Singapore being a very young nation state, we don't have that history. So people recognize it because they see it on travels. They recognize spinning wheel because of Sleeping Beauty. And so when they see it, they're like, hey, this is a unique craft space.
And it's different from what they see on their travels, because on their travels, when you go to villages and you visit the weavers, it's a way of life for them. It's their livelihood. But when they come to our studio, it's like, oh, so you do this for fun? And say, yes, we do this for fun because we enjoy it. So it's a different appreciation for a craft from what they have seen before. Yeah.
Yeah, to do it as a hobby, like just for leisure, for pleasure, it seems strange, right? So with your space right now, you guys do a lot of different crafts, right? Like you knit, there's weaving, there's spinning. Can you tell a little bit more about all the different crafts that you guys do and teach and the kinds of workshops that you guys run?
In summary, we always say we teach anything that has got to do with fiber or stuff that has got to do with paper. So as long as you're making with fiber or making with paper, if we don't know the craft well enough yet, we will go and find it out and we'll teach you. Yeah. So that's been our philosophy. But we largely offer crochet, knitting, tatting, weaving, spinning. As a standard class schedule, we always have those classes. And then in addition to that, we have marbling, book binding. We can teach tatting, rubber stamping, cut making. So these are the signature classes that we have. We have partner instructors who come in to teach hand dyeing, textured yarn, working with textured yarn, sewing, paper quilling, quilting. Yeah. So we're like a consortium of crafts.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So on request, we do special classes for embroidery, different types of embroidery as well. When people come in and go, oh, I see you sell this. Do you actually teach this type of craft? And yes, we could. And then we'll design a class for that.
Now, because you guys are multi-crafters, like you're saying, you're doing a lot of different crafts, do you find that you are drawn to any one craft more so than the others? Like, is there any, you just feel like, oh, I want to spend all my time doing this one thing or exploring this one avenue?
I wouldn't say I have that tendency, but I think I go through phases. So at some point in time, if I come across this fiber that I really want to spin, then I might spend more time spinning than knitting or crochet or weaving. But yeah, I go through cycles.
Same for me. Yeah. I think I have an issue with keeping focused on one thing. And when because I'll do projects and I'm like, yeah, I'm so bored of it. It's so repetitive. I'm so bored of it.
So just like, so the whips will stay as whips for me.
Yeah. So no, for years, remember? I have one that's like probably still in your house. Yeah. And so I do things as and when they catch my interest. At some point, I'm like, oh, I want to weave and I want to weave a lot. But weaving is not particularly portable, nor is it easy to do weaving in the middle of the night, like floor loom weaving, because my neighbor downstairs would probably call the cops on me, like call the police, and I'll have an issue with disturbances and being a nuisance. So I do have different projects in different areas, and sometimes it's just depending on the circumstances that I'm in, how much time I have, and that's really what it is.
Yeah.
So I think it's helpful to be a multi-crafter in that aspect.
Having multiple projects, I think, is a good thing. I recently finished a crochet shawl that I started because I wanted some time away from the project I was working on. The project I was working on required me to look at 3 charts at the same time for every row. So I decided to do that anyway, but I needed time away from that particular project because it was just taking a lot. I had to be very focused not to make mistakes, like which chart am I on right now, because it's 3 in one row. So during that crochet shawl, just let me have a break from that particular project. So whenever I needed to just space out, I could read a book, do my crochet, and just blank out for half an hour. And that's how I survive with multiple projects.
Awesome. So what do you guys have planned for the rest of 2021? How are you guys looking forward to the rest of the year? Now that you're in your new space and, pandemic regulations have, lightened up and everything, how is it going to go?
More classes. I think we're trying to push out some new classes, particularly classes that may be a bit more inclusive now that we really have the space. We were also thinking of finding organizations to work with. So rather than wait for some of these underserved population to come to us, we were thinking of finding organizations that we can work with. So we bring the experience to them.
We're also thinking of having a space that is welcoming for people to do crafting. And we are also setting up a dye studio in the back. So because we have customers who came for our dye workshops and they go, oh, I enjoy dyeing fibre and I enjoy dyeing yarn, but to set it up at home is a bit of a hassle. And those customers with young children and pets, they go, oh, I need to keep the dye away from. So then we're thinking if you could have a space set up where the equipment is there, the dyes are there, you could just come in, do what you want, bring your dye fabric, your dye yarn, your dye fibers home, then that is a space that is going to be very useful. So yeah, that's in the works for us.
The other thing is also study groups. I think people have talked about one thing. Some of them use crafting as a mindful practice, but it's very hard for them to find time to practice, do intentional practice with like the crafts that they've learned from us. So we're trying to set up study groups or sessions where people can come away from all the distractions in their lives and just come and spend 2 hours here, or have a group of people who understand their needs. Right now, I'm hosting a Rigid Heddle study group, and majority of the participants are actually mummies with children. So their predominant role is kind of like to be a mom to their kids, but they want to be able to craft, and they want to be able to craft with a group of people who understand. Like, if I can't meet the deadline to finish the project tomorrow, you would all understand that it's because something cropped up. My child just didn't give me space this week to do any of that. So we have this group. The first group has that profile of participants. It just so happened to be the case, but they're really enjoying it because having the environment have encouraged them to try something that's quite beyond what they typically do, but they know it's safe because no one would judge them and say, oh, you know what, you didn't get it done. We're all like, no, you got it done, well done. Like, oh, it's okay, if this week you didn't do anything, it's fine, you can get back to it next week. So that's, I think 2021 has been a lot of that, like supporting people in different types of people in different points of their learning journey. I think that's what we are spending a lot of 2021 doing.
And also, I think we are telling people you're not on a deadline. So there are people who come to us, oh, this shawl, it's going to take me months. And we'll be like, it's fine. So it takes you months. You're not on a deadline. Do you need to submit this to someone? Do you need to, finish it in 2 weeks because you tell yourself you need to finish in 2 weeks? So most of the time, we don't need to keep to that kind of deadline. And so that's what we've been telling our customers, because slow making is just slow. You have to accept that it's going to take time. If right now you need to have a shawl by the end of this week, buy one. You don't need to stress yourself over, oh, I'm going to have to spend 6 hours today to finish this. That's just giving yourself too much stress.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that's the other thing, that none of it has to be perfect. And I think within the kind of environment that we're in, the society that we're in, there's a lot of emphasis on doing things fast and doing things good, perfect. And we're saying, if you step into this space, then it is about slow making. It's about enjoying that process and not letting the process stress you out. Because if you want to be very stressed out, then you can just go to work, really. You don't have to be here.
There are people who come in for the first class and go, oh, why is your stitching looking so neat and regular? And I said, well, you've done it for 15 minutes. I've done it for 15 years or more. So it's not a fair comparison. And your aim shouldn't be to produce stitches that are absolutely regular, because only a machine does that. Right? So that is something that just needs to be tuned in.
It's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, for taking the time to chat with me today. I think that everything you guys are doing is just so inspiring and so encouraging, like to build this community around you, to provide support to your community, and just to be so accessible to them, and to make the fiber arts and to make yarn and to make craft so accessible to everybody. I think it's fantastic what you guys are doing. If people want to find you guys and follow what you're doing, what you're making, what you are teaching, all of these kinds of things, where is the best place that people can find you?
I would say Instagram.
Yeah.
It's probably the only thing we update the most often. So they would be able to find us at Craft Atelier SG. That's where they would find us on Instagram. We're also that on Facebook, but it's always Instagram first, then Facebook just gets a copy of what we share on Instagram. Yeah. And of course our website, but I think our website is largely more for people who are searching for classes to come to, or things that they want to buy from us.
In fact, most people, when they inquire about classes, we just ask them, do you have time to pop by the studio? It's easier to talk in person, because then we find out what it is that you need, what it is that you're looking for, before we recommend a class or recommend a type of craft for you.
Yeah. So I'll say Instagram.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation. I found that after I chatted with Chen and Lian, I was driving home and I felt like I had a mini epiphany about the way that I approach productivity in craft. They just have such a relaxed approach to their making that I felt like it gave me permission to give myself a break. Sort of unrelated, but I've been reading this book by Seth Godin called The Practice, and it's all about this idea of shipping creative work. And so when I relate it to myself, it's not about just thinking or wishing that one day I could be a weaver. It's about actually doing the work and taking the actions to make me a weaver. So just showing up every day, 5 minutes a day, and eventually I'll get to the place where I'm going. In the book, he sort of stresses the importance of focusing on the process and not so much on the outcome. And I felt like it was the same idea as at Craft Atelier. The focus is not on the finished object or the outcome. It's about incorporating the act of making things into your life as it fits into your life. And if it doesn't fit exactly perfectly right now, that's okay. Even if you can squeeze in 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, that's okay. So I would love to hear from you and see what you found most helpful about this conversation. We are meeting with our SweetGeorgia brand ambassadors in conversations like this throughout the year. So I would love to hear about topics that you're interested in or questions that you'd like me to ask or address. You can leave me a comment here and give us a thumbs up if you like this video and this conversation. And if you would like to see more content from me and SweetGeorgia, please do subscribe. And we come here every Friday with something new about the fiber arts, color, craft, and things that make us happy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye for now.